Why is that good?
The entire chamber is loaded with high explosives equipped with a radio-controlled detonator. As soon as I depress this button, the shelter and everything in it will cease.
Now we interlude to Laha, who somehow managed to walk into a town despite the snow and cold, and sets about making himself look even crazier.
I set about fashioning my vestments. The followers of Azrael served him by donning his apparel. Very well. I would serve you, Azrael's greatest enemy, by clothing myself in the garments of the demon lord. Bzz.
Meanwhile, Gnomeface talks up Azrael's new armor that he's putting on.
By the way, I should note, if Azrael's coming across as a bit of a wuss McPuss right now, that's because at this point in his character's, arc throughout his whole career, he pretty much was. He didn't actually become a lot more violent and hardcore and crazy until later on when a subconscious form of brainwashing known as the system started to kick in. So, right now he is pretty much at the level of whiny idiot.
But why? What's it all about?
You know that our order broke from establishment about 600 years ago. We had much wealth from the Crusades. We used it in what we thought were good causes. We protected and nurtured our members, unless they violated our trust. Then Azrael was sent to punish.
Turns out Laha was a former member of their secret organization, who stole money and then became a target of the previous Azrael, who was the current Azrael's father, and Laha killed him.
Yeah, not all that shocking, really.
Cut to Laha elaborating on that, and planning his next move to assassinate the rest of the Order, while holding a gun and standing naked in front of a mirror. Because apparently the comic hasn't established that he's crazy yet, I guess.
There are fewer than a dozen of them left, scattered about in a few cities in Europe and America. I know who they are, and where they are, and soon they'll all be dead, and their wealth will be mine. Lord Demon Biz, mine and yours.
Back to Batman and Alfred, who are alive and kicking, contrary to Gnomeface's boast a couple of pages ago. And, despite all the turmoil, Alfred can still cook up some dinner. I discovered a butane stove and copious supply of canned and frozen food, so I prepared a spinach fajita. A spinach fajita? In Switzerland? I would have expected chocolate. A chocolate fajita would be barbarian.
Barbarian? I'll have you know that the Chocohita is a delicacy in some parts of this country, you stuck-up butler.
Good fajita. Glad you passed on the chocolate.
You too? Bastard. Anyway, while Alfred was busy cooking and being all snobby, Batman was solving the mystery of why they aren't little explodey bits on the ground.
Why are we not atoms? A dangling wire, maybe jarred loose by the explosion that blew up the chalet.
Ladies and gentlemen, Batman does indeed have a superpower. That of blind luck.
Back to Azrael and Gnomeface, who exposits that Laha was the treasurer of their order, and thus was the only other person aside from Gnomeface to know all the other members' identities. So they plan to find the others before Laha so as to ambush him, choosing to start with a member in town at a hospital.
But Laha ends up getting in contact with the member of the Order first.
The sick brother's confined to his bed, so we'll visit him first.
Wow. Yeah, comic artists have this weird thing with guns. They don't ever want to draw them, like, realistically. So you end up with huge monstrosities like this. My personal favorite touch? This gun, for some reason, has a heartbeat.
Oh yeah, Batman discovers all the other members' identities as well, but he doesn't do anything else for this issue, so don't worry about it.
We are here.
I better find somewhere to put on my Azrael garb. Your friend might need protection.
No, Azrael does not protect. Azrael, avenges.
They are then roused into action by a noise.
Yes, screams.
Yep, Laha bust onto the scene earlier and is gunning his way through the hospital, firing randomly with his... pistol? Why not the freaking cannon you were showing off? He even kills the member of the Order with it. Right afterwards, of course, Azrael and Gnome Face get on the scene. Another devil?
Quickly! The garments of Azrael! Put them on!
No time!
Maybe if you let me suit up like I wanted to, we wouldn't be in this situation, would we?
Well, Laha easily shoots him at the window and into the street, leaving him an unconscious heap on the ground as To Be Continued closes us out.
Now, in closing, this book is not bad by any means, with pretty solid artwork throughout except for a few hiccups, but those can be overlooked, and it has a pretty brisk pace that takes it along at a good clip. However, that may also be a bit of the problem. It moves too fast, plus the storyline is fractured between three sets of characters, leaving little room for characterization. In fact, the only real character that gets any sort of arc is Laha, whose arc goes from crazy guy to crazy guy with face paint to crazy guy with face paint and a huge-ass gun. To be honest, to me, it just felt like all the characters were running around in circles and not accomplishing anything of importance. So, just based on that alone, I can't necessarily recommend this one on its merits alone. Maybe with the other three parts of the story, it might be good. It probably is, but I don't know. Anyway, I've been Go-Chan, and I have yet to come up with a good enough catchphrase to sign these things off with, so peace out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah! Back to myself!